Upstate 8 basketball. Tonight from Chesborough Fieldhouse, it is the Elgin Maroons versus the Larkin Royals. And Paul, this is going to be a tough ball game. It's not going to only be an Upstate 8 battle. It's going to be a crosstown rival. And I am John Mercure with Paul Lepic. And Paul, what do you make of this matchup tonight?
Well, I tell you, you could throw the record books away on this one. It's being played at Chesborough. Elgin comes in with a record of 8-8, 3-5 in conference. Larkin has the monkey on their back. They're 16-2, 6-2 in conference play, but they've never won the Upstate 8 conference title, and they would love to win that. They have one more game coming up with St. Charles, which is also a tough ball game for them coming down the road. But tonight they have to get past the Maroons, and it could be a tough job tonight.
And there you have a look at the Larkin Royals, and you saw Kendrick Thomas just walk out of your picture. And Paul, that could be the difference in this ball game. Larkin, so deep. Not only they come at you 5 strong to begin the ball game, they got a couple big guys that come off the bench, and I know that that really worries Coach Jim Harrington and the Elgin Maroons. As a matter of fact, he says he's more scared of a couple of guys coming off the bench than some of the starters that the Royals put out on the floor.
You know, funny you mentioned Kendrick Thomas. He's an all-state player, a top quality player in football, and you like a guy on the basketball team with that type of an experience, a proven winner, and that's what Kendrick Thomas is. But you're right, Jim Harrington, the coach of the Elgin Maroons, is going to worry about Sharik Simpson coming off the bench, the 6th man for the Larkin Royals, because that might cause some matchup problems for the Maroons.
And you hit on it right there. The Royals have said that they'd like to run. They'd like to get an up-tempo game going. They come with that 3-guard offense, kind of unusual, but it's been very effective for them. While the Maroons will look to slow the game down, take good, deliberate shots, run a little bit of clock, and that really points to the difference in these two teams. And they're really headed in different directions, Paul, aren't they?
Exactly right. Let me first comment on the styles of the ball clubs. Larkin will basically put it up from the outside if they can have it. David Binion, one of the star players. Matt Schuler, a great 3-point shooter from the outside, and Hornock as well. Hornock averaging 14.6 points a ball game. For the Maroons, you're right. They're a setup type offense, a half-court offense, where they might want to work it into Iran Garcia. Garcia being the 2nd leading rebounder in the conference right now, and I think Iran's going to have a tough job though handling the likes of Binion on the inside. Palmer can also crash the boards, and Brown can crash the boards as well for the Larkin Royals. So Iran Garcia could have his hands full tonight.
Let's go into the records a little bit, Paul. Both these teams coming in, they both had a kind of interesting start. Larkin dropped a couple games early to tough teams, to a Wabanzi Valley squad and St. Charles, who's currently in the lead. Elgin started out kind of strong, and not a lot of people expected a lot from the Maroons. Now last weekend, the Maroons dropped 2 games, 2 tough ones, to East Aurora and West Aurora, and Larkin is just on a roll.
That's right. Elgin, as they started their season, they had that Elgin Christmas tournament here. They played some tough teams in Glenbrook South, Highland Park, a traditional tough powerhouse. I think they're ranked number 10 in the city right now by the major newspapers. A traditionally tough St. Patrick's squad with Max Curlin as their head coach. Waukegan is also a tough ball club from that Elgin Christmas tournament. But you're right, for Elgin, the 2 losses against the Aurora ball clubs, both East Aurora where they lost 60-50 and West Aurora where they lost 52-46. A heartbreaker considering Iran Garcia was really limited in that one, 13 points. You kind of wonder if they're on a downslide, but you know, home cooking beats it all, and you want to have home cooking here, taking on these Larkin Royals. On the other hand, Larkin, on the other hand, they had a tough Wheaton North Ball Club, and they had the DeKalb Christmas Tournament, and they've been on a roll ever since, working up to a 16-2 mark. They eventually won that DeKalb Christmas Tournament with an excellent ball game against Rockford Lutheran. Seemed everything clicked in that ball game. Rockford Lutheran's no slouch, coming out of that Nick Conference up way out north there. So, you know, it all depends what's going to happen. You never know who's going to get the ball, and I think they've really gelled as a team. So, yeah, Larkin is on the run. They're picked to possibly go down state. Elgin, I think they have a lot of character, and I think you'll see that here tonight.
You know, and you talked about home cooking, and this is a tough battle, one of the best in the state as far as an inner-city rivalry goes. And we talked to Dom Canada, and he's confident that his boys are also going to play well here at Chesborough Fieldhouse. They're very familiar with the floor. They're very comfortable here, and their fans can turn out as well as Elgin High's.
Well, I tell you, you know, the Upstate 8 Conference, you even talked to some of the guys downstate, some of the coaches downstate. Upstate 8 Conference, one of the toughest in the state of Illinois.
And let's take a listen now to our national anthem. We're just about ready for basketball here at Chesbrough Fieldhouse. We did our last game from the pit at St. Edward's High School, another place that's quite noisy. This a lot different atmosphere, Paul. It's bigger, roomier, seats more people, but this place can get awfully loud in its own right.
Absolutely right, and both teams have a tremendous following. The Larkin Royals, they go everywhere. The Larkin Royal fans, I mean, you have a big crowd. You can see in the background, they're over on the far side on the monitor here. You could just tell that they're going to follow this team all the way. Elgin, in their own right, has a big following as well.
And at 3-5, the Maroons seem to be out of contention for an Upstate 8 title. But Jim Harrington, the coach of the Maroons, knows that this team has enough raw talent that on any given night, they can put it together and compete and become a real spoiler for just about any team in the conference race, and they've played a lot of the big ones tough thus far.
Well, I tell you, the first conference loss for Waubonsee Valley, and Waubonsee Valley's ranked in the state as well, came at the hands of these Elgin Maroons back on January the 10th, where Elgin won 57-51. In that game, Steve Gumm at 15, Iran Garcia 13 points, Wallace Lynch with 18 points to lead Elgin to that victory.
And the people are still continuing to file in here. They have a nice pep band. They played a little bit, you heard. They'll play throughout some more of the remainder of the game. And now they're getting ready to introduce the Larkin players. And they've brought a big contingent of fans and students here. But it still is predominantly a Maroon gym.
Well, absolutely. But, you know, you just crossed the river and you're in Larkin country.
You got that right. There you see some of the starters. Matt Schuler introduced. Sean Palmer right behind him. There are two of those three guards we talked about. And there's the third. Greg Hornock, he's the pesky point guard. Had a rough year last year as a sophomore, was thrust into a starting role. Chris Brown, one of the big men.
He's going to have to go up against Iran Garcia.
That could be a tough assignment, but he'll have help from this man, the big man.
The big man.
Big David Binion. The Royals trying to not look ahead to tomorrow night's big battle against St. Charles. And now it's that time. The home crowd on their feet as we're ready for the introductions for the Elgin Maroons. There you see Corey Hodges.
Corey's going to have his hands full. He's a sophomore, and they're hoping for him for big times in the future. He's getting a lot of experience this year.
And he's the quarterback on this squad. A man he'll be looking to get the ball to, 24, Pat Otto. And another senior, Saru Jones. And they're going to have their hands full trying to crash the boards against these Royals.
There he is.
And there's the guy you've spent some time talking about, Iran Garcia.
Garcia's second in the conference in rebounding. You know, the local paper, the Daily Courier News, had a great article on him rebounding from an earlier death in the family to his older brother, and he's recovered nicely, and he's kind of dedicated the season to the memory of his brother.
And he's a real competitor and a guy with a lot of heart. You know, it disrupted his football season. He's one of these guys that is really an athlete. He goes both ways. He plays football as well as basketball. And he came back to have a real successful season on the gridiron as well. And we're just about set for the opening tip. And these first few minutes, Paul, are going to be so important because tempo will be established, and we'll see who gains control of that and thus really control the ball game. And Binion and Garcia set to jump it up. And Elgin controls the tip. They try to set up their half-court offense. Shot on the way, missed, but kept alive by Garcia. They'll set up the offense again.
A man defense for Larkin.
They get it back to Garcia inside. And Brown with the rebound. Greg Hornock pushes up to Schuler. There's some pressure. No, an off-balance shot.
Yeah, that back door wasn't open. Elgin defended it nicely. Got it.
And Elgin draws first blood. 2-zip Maroons. Hornock directing traffic at half court. Looking to Palmer. And David Binion hacked on the play. Pat Otto is going to be whistled for the foul.
It'll be the first personal. Team's first personal. Sends Binion to the line. Like David's hairdo. I just got a haircut. I'm going to have to check out his stylist here.
Yeah, I think we could both go to his barber, huh?
Look at that.
And he misses the first one. Binion, a 66% free throw shooter on the year. And this Larkin team really strong in that department. Binion gets the second, cuts the lead to 1. And Hodges between the legs. Oh, he thinks about it. Hornock with the pressure. Tough Larkin defense.
I'll tell you, though, Elgin's setting screens to try to get that outside shot.
Garcia kicks it inside. Not much doing. A 3 on the way. And it's deep. Binion grabs the board. And the Royals push.
Nice defense. Excellent defense by Elgin. They sagged in the middle. Larkin cannot get that backdoor play.
Saru Jones comes up with the steal. And Hodges to set the offense. Boy, Larkin really extends that defense. And they're going to call that a travel. Jim Harrington up, telling his troops to settle down a little bit, play for a good shot.
Little indecision on the part of Elgin there, whether to take the shot or to pass off, and that caused the turnover.
Hornock sets up the offense. Oh, Binion flashed open underneath. They didn't catch him. Now up top.
Oh, nice block.
Garcia. Here we go, 2-1 Maroons. Garcia gets the block, and they give it back to him on the other end, and he puts it in for 2. 4-1 Maroons. Schuler missed the inside shot.
Larkin having a difficult time working the ball inside. David Binion, the all-conference guard for the Larkin Royals, not finding it easy to get that inside shot.
Palmer on the inbounds. Back to the quarterback. And that's going to be Elgin's ball. Palmer unable to retain control of that ball. Garcia inbounds, 4:50 left in this inaugural period at Chesborough Fieldhouse. 4-1, the Elgin Maroons on top. Saru Jones, Garcia flashes to the middle, nice move. Boy, Garcia showing that he's come to play tonight. That makes it 6-1, Elgin on top. The Royals yet to hit a field goal. Oh, boy. Hornock missed 2 layups there. Elgin looking for help. That looked like a travel.
Nice play. Yeah.
Nice look. And Dom Canada's got to be concerned.
Yeah, down 8-1 already.
His team unable to put a field goal on the board. And he may decide to go to the bench earlier. He has in the past. Palmer looking to make it happen. Kicks it underneath to Binion. Oh!
Lucky for Larkin, it's still their ball, but Binion got the pass inside. Couldn't really leap high enough to put it in. His hand hit the rim. Couldn't dunk it.
He wanted to throw that down. Oh, a little miscommunication. Woo. Another turnover. All right. Elgin looking to extend that lead. Under 4 minutes left in this first period. To Saru Jones. Boy, a lot of bumping going on out there. Garcia looks inside, deflected. Brown comes out of there with it.
A lot of people nicknamed this conference the Black and Blue Conference, and I think you can tell why. Here, look at this.
And that's a charge.
Nice play by Otto, taking the charge.
And Coach Jim Harrington said that's something his team does a lot of. They take a lot of charges. They hustle after a lot of balls. Just a scrappy bunch. He called them the blue-collar bunch, and that really epitomizes the work ethic of this Maroon squad. Garcia.
You know, Dominic Canada this past week worked on defense. Might have needed to work on offense a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're having problems putting the ball in the hoop.
And not a lot of movement on offense either. And they're going to whistle Hodges for the foul. Reaching in, a little hand check, and he gets whistled for it. And that's the second personal foul whistled on the Maroons. Hornock to inbound. Palmer looks for some daylight. Double coverage, and Binion gets the soft jumper to fall through. 10-3.
Binion with all three Larkin points.
Oh, good Larkin defense. Schuler to Palmer. Good court awareness, and like that, 10-5. Garcia looking for some help. And Hodges calls the play. Coach Jim Harrington yells some counsel on the sidelines. Saru Jones. Chris Brown faces him. Nice look, out to Gum. Gum lets loose, doesn't hit. He's 0 for 2, but he's a 40% three-point shooter on the year. Binion on the break, looking for some room. Brown. And Saru Jones with the board. And that's really not his shot.
Now, Binion tried to keep that ball alive, but he tapped it right to an Elgin player.
And guess who? Garcia.
Garcia with 10 of the Elgin 12 points.
And he's got to have a couple boards, too. Elgin readies some subs. Schuler fakes, drives, puts up the jumper. That was a tough shot.
Larkin only getting one shot at the basket.
Oh, Gum. Oh, he was out of control on that shot. Got Brown on the wing. And Binion gets the board and gets hammered as he tries to put it back. And Paul, both teams looking a little ragged, playing outside themselves, maybe trying to do too much.
I think more on the part of Larkin than on the part of Elgin. The plays are going inside to Binion, as you can see, but Binion's having a hard time trying to get open and putting the shot in the hoop.
And here comes some of those super subs for the Royals. Kendrick Thomas checks into the ball game, and Sharik Simpson out. Matt Schuler and Chris Brown, they'll be given a rest.
Last foul was on Saru Jones. That was his first, team's third.
And Jermaine Williams and Eric Parker check into the ball game for the Maroons. Binion hits the free throw, cuts the lead in half. Under a minute left in this first period. Simpson had the rebound, lost it. Thomas controls. They set up the offense. Oh, quick pass. Oh, and that's going to be an offensive foul once again. Palmer whistled for the offensive foul. Eric Parker sticking his chest in there and taking that charge. And on that one trip, you could see the better ball movement. They made a couple crisp, quick passes, and that's what Kanata looks for.
Kanata has that up-tempo offense, and you need to have those quick passes trying to find the open man inside. That really hasn't been there tonight against the tough Elgin defense.
Schuler back in. Palmer, after the charge, takes a seat next to Coach Kanata.
Palmer's first foul, the team's second.
And Hodges tries to reset the offense. Saru Jones takes a peek at the clock. 20 seconds left. Oh, Kendrick Thomas coming back door. Pressure defense. About 10 seconds left. Schuler up ahead to Thomas, and that's a travel.
Thomas couldn't control the dribble as he came down the court here.
Kind of hit him in the old mitt and stuck there as he took 2 or 3 or 4 steps. Elgin, one last surge. 6 seconds left, up 12-6. Looking for the long pass.
Ah!
Gum!
Oh!
And he hands it.
Woo!
Binion to heave, full court. Oh! And he misses. And a tough, determined first quarter by this Elgin Maroon squad. Larkin will try to regroup at the end of one. 14-6, the Elgin Maroons on top. We'll be back after this short break.
All right.
$1 pledged between 2 p.m. and midnight will help over 2,000 people right here in northern Kane County and Hanover Township. Don't miss any of the fun. That's Saturday, February 29th from 2 p.m. to midnight.
I thought I was going blind, but I didn't have enough money to do anything about it.
First quarter, the Maroons all over the glass. Iran Garcia unconscious.
Iran is averaging 12.7 points a ball. He's got 10 so far at the end of the first quarter.
And Hornock looking to get these Royals on track. Schuler misses the 3. And Gum brings it up. Kendrick Thomas, the stellar defensive player. Sharik Simpson extended out past the 3-point strike. Oh, and they're going to whistle Hornock. He reached in, almost had the steal, must have caught a piece of the arm.
Be Hornock's second personal, the team's third. And he caught a piece of Garcia as Garcia was trying to intercept that, trying to receive that pass.
All year, Elgin has out-rebounded their opponents, 460 to 436, and that's going to be a tough assignment tonight. Maybe one of the keys to the ball game, trying to keep this team from Larkin off the glass. A near steal. Rejected.
Hello.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
David Binion, and he sent that into the front row of his fans.
Jermaine Williams thought he had an open jumper. Not quite.
Not.
Not.
Saru Jones to inbound. Hodges. Dishes. And Williams hits and scores. The Maroons up by 10. 7 minutes left in the first half. David Binion, boy, he's having a tough time of it underneath. Fighting to get open through screens, through picks. Thomas in the lane. They won't count that. They'll say it was a foul on the floor.
A little push off before the shot here. We're going to call it on number 34, Saru Jones. That's his second, the team's fourth.
Boy, is Thomas quick. That first step is so quick. Palmer. Garcia with the board. They're out running. Saru Jones with the easy layup, beating the Royals down the court badly.
Saru better not be in foul trouble, though, or else it could be a long night for Elgin.
The Maroons extend their lead to 12. Schuler looking for help to Thomas. Inside. Shriek Simpson missed that little jumper. Garcia, oh, and that's an offensive foul.
Iran put the shoulder into him.
Matt Schuler had established position. Garcia going to the hole, got a good piece of him.
It's his first personal, the team's 5th.
And Chris Brown will check back in. He'll replace David Binion for the Royals.
Jim Harrington was wondering if they're going to match up well when Simpson comes in. So far, Garcia's been able to handle him.
And John Schultz in for the Maroons. Schuler runs the point when Hornock is on the bench. Penetrates. Good look. And Garcia got a piece of that. Boy, Iran Garcia trying to make a point here tonight, I think.
All right, Garcia's playing up-tempo defense.
You got that right.
Whew. He's everywhere.
And Harrington has said that the key to this ballgame is the defensive effort. Palmer in trouble.
Got Elgin sag in the middle. They got 3 guys, now 4 guys inside the paint.
Nice move. Shriek Simpson beats him baseline. Thomas coming for the steal. Up to Gum. Tough shot. John Schultz keeps it alive. A scramble. Who's got it? That may be a jump ball.
And they called it a jump, and it's still going to be Elgin ball.
Either that or they're going to say that, a little pushing going on. The refs trying to regain control. I thought they were going to say that Schuler had pinned Garcia for the 3 count. On the alternating possession, Elgin will inbound. Up by 10, 18-8. Under 6 minutes left in this first half of Upstate 8 basketball. Gets it into Schultz.
Ooh.
And a foul off the ball.
And that's going to go against number 25, John Schultz.
And he's kind of rubbing his nose like he took a shot.
Well, both guys are kind of giving elbows. I think John was the second guy who always gets caught. This is first, the team's 6th.
Simpson with Garcia. Back out to the top. Schuler calls for some movement.
Oh!
That's a tough call, but you got to give the guy room to land, and Schultz didn't do that.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Brown got that pass inside. Brown couldn't land, as you said, and Schultz got called again for the foul.
And that's really a tough call because that was actually pretty good defense. Didn't go for the ball. He was trying to establish position. 5:20 left in this second quarter. I'm John Mercure along with Paul Lepick. And now it looks to be some discussion about something.
They're looking to see if it's the 1-and-1, which it is. So Brown's going to go to the free throw line. It's the 7th team foul against Elgin.
Dom Canada's got to be kind of worried. Halfway through the second period almost, his team with 8 points on the board. And Hodges brings it across the timeline. Saru Jones. Kendrick Thomas fighting for the loose ball.
Nice play by Hodges.
Oh, good look.
Oh!
Gum. Boy, that was a great dish.
Hodges is a sophomore, but he sure as heck doesn't play like it, man. He plays like a senior.
You're seeing it right. 20-8. Elgin on top of Larkin. Brown misses a shot, and Hodges out of there with it. Kendrick Thomas tries to face him through the legs.
Oh.
Looked
call.
Inside.
Good call. The ball went off of Brown out of bounds. I tell you, every shot that goes up on the Larkin offensive end, 2 or 3 Elgin Maroon players sagging in the middle, trying to get that defensive board. There's Binion coming back in for Sharik Simpson. Simpson going out.
And occasionally they'll go with Brown, Binion, and Simpson. And that's a scary sight for any coach.
And Jay Virgil comes in, and Hodges comes out, gets a nice pet on the fanny by Jim Harrington, and he gets a standing ovation from his benchmates.
Oh, boy. Binion just picked that out of the air like it was an apple on a tree. For 3.
Yep.
Palmer hits it. Throws his fist in the air, tries to get his troops fired up. Larkin cuts it to 9. Gum brings the ball up, deflected. Look inside, and a wild shot. Binion corrals the rebound. Out to Schuler. Larkin looking to run. Oh, nice look inside.
Wow.
Boy, and I just can't say enough about Kendrick Thomas. We had a chance to talk to Kendrick, and he's kind of disappointed that he doesn't start on this ball club because he thinks he has the talent to do it, but he's such a spark coming off the bench.
Nice play by Thomas. Saw Brown inside. Brown had the presence of mind to not touch the ball as it went out of bounds, and Larkin just inbounded it. He got a foul.
On that play, Garcia commits the foul. That'll put Binion back at the line.
Garcia's second personal foul. Binion so far 2 for 4 from the charity stripe tonight.
And Schuler and Palmer come over and receive a little bit of counsel, some advice from Dom Canada. There you see a good look at David Binion.
You know, one thing that impressed us before the ball game even started here was the field goal shooting percentage of the Larkin Royals, with everybody shooting over 50%. That's not happening tonight.
Yeah, they've struggled thus far. On the year, all of Larkin starters are over 50% except Hornock, and he's hovering right around that 50% mark. Long down court pass. Fakes the jumper. Boy, that was a good idea and a nice look. But Pat Otto just a step away from that ball.
Boy, Virgil saw that he was double teamed inside, just passed, as you said, to Otto, and Otto wasn't anticipating it.
Binion out top. Dishes off at the last minute. Boy, and things are getting kind of heated out there.
Uh-huh. The foul's going to go against Larkin.
That's Gregory Zeismer. They bring him in kind of as that enforcer type of guy. He crashes the boards. He'll take some fouls. They'll put that inside game together for the Royals.
See their RoboCop?
Basically. As if they don't have enough inside punch.
That's right.
With Simpson and Binion and Brown.
This is first, the team's 4th.
Elgin gets the ball in the hands of their point guard, Hodges. Up to Garcia. Oh, and a wide open Jermaine Williams. Can't find the grip.
You know, on that last Larkin on that offensive surge, David had a jumper shot from the David Binion, jumper shot from the free throw line, chose to pass it inside, and that's what caused the foul. David should take those open jumper shots from the free throw line.
Palmer open.
Yep.
Oh, nothing but the bottom of the net. And Larkin's creeping back into this ball game, 2016.
Yeah. A little gut check time for the Maroons.
Hodges under pressure. And Sarud Jones slips on the play. He's got Thomas in front. And the ball gets to Thomas.
That ball miraculously went to Thomas. He went to 2 Maroon players, both on the ground. Thomas picked it up, put it in the hoop.
Larkin excited, but Elgin still on top.
These are things that are good for you. Things that people do every day. They become habits. Because if they didn't, these things just wouldn't get done. Even something as good for you as saving. Fortunately, there's an easy way to save. Buy U.S. savings bonds through the
Elgin cheerleaders, they're trying to get their fans back in the ball game. 20-18, 2:40 left in this first half, and Larkin on a little bit of a run. And this is what Jim Harrington worried about. I talked to him earlier today, and he said he doesn't want to take anything away from his kids, but he realizes that Larkin has better athletes. They just get up and down the floor so well, they jump and leap so well, and his kids are really going to have to try to shut the door, limit the chances on the glass.
Thus far, Larkin has outscored Elgin 12-6. Palmer, the big gun thus far, 2 3-pointers in this quarter.
Up court to Hodges. He pushes. That first step is a quick one.
They gave him the baseline. He took it.
Over to Thomas. They kick it inside. No argument from Binion on that.
Now, David saw the wide open lane inside. Had to take 2 steps to get around the 2 defenders.
Elgin looks to inbound. Having trouble getting it in. Oh. Kick to Garcia, who's been quiet thus this quarter. Thomas picks his pocket. He's got Binion. Oh, they're going to whistle Thomas on the offensive foul.
Wow.
Hodges takes the charge.
Tough call. Thomas, his first, team's 5th.
Boy, he doesn't like it. Canada doesn't like it.
You know, it's interesting on that last series for Elgin on the offensive side. Iran Garcia triple teamed offensively.
Boom. Schuler with the 3.
First points of the night.
And Larkin within 1. Pressure defense coming at you. Gum breaks it. And Thomas. This guy is incredible.
Thomas is pumped.
And he wants the ball back. Larkin can take the lead.
My.
In and out on the long one. Garcia grabs in the board.
That was almost an NBA 3.
Yeah, just about. Harrington telling his boys, slow it down. Play for the good shot. They cling to a 1-point lead.
Yeah, but that Larkin man-to-man defense turned up a notch here.
Look at Kendrick Thomas is talking out there.
Look at that. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, this could be ugly. Back to Schuler, nice look. Binion with the great pass. Schuler fouled on the play.
They double team at the half-court line on that press. And Elgin hasn't been able to solve it yet.
Less than a minute left. Larkin looking to take the lead.
That foul was on Iran Garcia. That's his 3rd personal. And you don't want to get Garcia in foul trouble if you're a Maroon fan. Sending Schuler to the line.
And Schuler, a 56% free throw shooter on the year. Kind of strange because he's about the lowest on this team. And he's also their big outside threat. They thrive on his jumper, but he struggled at the line early this year. Sharik Simpson back in the ball game. Schuler drains that one. And Larkin with some good size on the floor. They come with Binion, Zeismer, and Simpson to complement Palmer and Schuler. And they're both good. Larkin takes the lead. Gum to Jones coming off the screen. They get it back to Hodges, and right away Schuler with his hand in the cookie jar.
Elgin kind of went away with that offense, setting screens to get that open jump shot from about the top of the key there. It's good to see that they're back into it again. Schuler with the first personal.
Jermaine Williams gets it inbounds. Hands it to Hodges. 43. They might play for 1 here, Paul.
They could. Take a little bit of the air out of the Larkin balloon.
I think if Elgin had their way, they'd play for 1 shot each quarter. Binion extended well beyond the 3-point stripe. Hodges with a glance at the clock. About 20 seconds left in the first half. Larkin with their first lead of the ball game, clinging to a 1-point advantage. 12 seconds left. Larkin begins to extend that defense. Oh, right into the hands of Schuler. Simpson with the jumper off the mark.
Oh, they're going to call Palmer for pushing off.
Oh boy, that's critical. With 1 second left, Palmer, this team's leading scorer, gets whistled for another personal.
It's his second.
And quickly, Kendrick Thomas will check into the ball game.
Corey Hodges lost. Oh, it is a 1-and-1. All right.
Boy, that's going to put Elgin at the line with 1 second left and a chance to go into the locker room on top.
It's the 7th team foul for the Royals. It sends Steve Gum to the line. Gum with 6 points so far.
And a 71% free throw shooter on the year. He's the leader on this squad. Man, I wish I could make it look that easy.
Kid's got ice in his veins.
That ties it at 23.
Gum with 15 points against that victory against Wabansie Valley.
That one off the back of the iron, and time has run out. Boy, we got a dandy for you at Chesborough Fieldhouse. At the half, the Larkin Royals and the Elgin Maroons tied at 23. And we'll be back with second half action and recap those first half stats.
Tonight, Dolores had a few drinks, did some crack, and ended up another tragic story. Only she doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget. And if you forget how risky sex can be, you could catch the AIDS virus and not know it for months, even years. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
And we're back from Chesborough Fieldhouse. I'm John Mercure with Paul Lepick. And a tight ball game we have here. Can't get any tighter. 23-all at the half. Paul, recap that scoring for us.
Well, for the Larkin Royals, they're led in scoring with Palmer with 8, Binion with 6, Schuler with 5, Thomas with 2, and Simpson off the bench with 2. Brown with 1 field goal, missed it, didn't score. For the Elgin Maroons, they're led in scoring by Iran Garcia with 10. Then it's Steve Goom with 7. And then you have Corey Hodges with 2, Jermaine Williams with 2, and Saru Jones with 2. With a total of 23 points on both sides. I think the key here for Elgin, Iran Garcia with 3 personal fouls. You want to keep Iran around throughout the remainder of the ballgame, and I think a key to this ballgame so far has been the tenacious Larkin defense, which really brought it back in the ballgame, having been down 14-6 at the end of the first quarter.
And even when they were down, Paul, you just could sense that they were not out of it. They just have the horses and the weapons to come out and compete from however far back they find themselves.
The interesting second half, if Elgin can maintain the momentum.
And an interesting dilemma. The refs are ready to start the ball game, and we got people walking around on one end of the court. There you see him walking right in front of Greg Hornock. He's ready to inbound the ball, and we're underway. Quick to Binion. Man, and a quick hitter. 2 seconds elapse, and David Binion puts Larkin up by a deuce. Greg Hodges directs this Maroon offense. Saru Jones pops out.
They're setting screens again, which got them the lead in the first quarter.
Boy, Garcia with the tough shot. And the follow. And there once again, Elgin crashes the board. Saru Jones actually got his hands on that to keep it alive. Garcia puts the bucket in. Hornock back in the ball game. Palmer hits the deuce.
And Palmer stepped on the line, which made it a deuce, so he wasn't that far away from three-point land.
There you get a look at Hodges bringing the ball up.
The screen's being set. Let's see if they can get an outside shot here. A screen set for Hodges, didn't get it.
And Williams, who starts this second half. Oh, nice look. And Williams misses the easy one. Schuler out of there. They're looking to run. Oh, boy, Binion must be feeling it. He hits the long jumper. And Larkin extends to their largest lead of the ball game, 29-25. Saru Jones against pressure. And Hornock comes over, doesn't get it. Hodges comes up short, and Palmer grabs the board. Off to Schuler.
They have 4 guys sag on Hodges.
Looking for help, gets it to Schuler. Under 6 minutes left in the third. Oh, nice look.
Nice.
Oh, swag.
2 blocks.
Gum dishes to Hodges, looks to set it up. Gum likes that three-pointer, has to pull it back out. Not this time, on the way and good. Once again, it's a deuce, but it cuts the lead to 2 also. Fans still settling back into their seats here at Chesborough Fieldhouse. Hornock looking for help, gets it to Schuler. Schuler stripped. Garcia comes out of there with it, to Hodges.
Ooh, they got the call. I didn't think that they saw that Binion had to touch his arm on the way out.
Boy, and that went right through the wicket.
Yeah.
Garcia, inside. Knocked away by Hornock. Officials timeout. They'll check and see how Jones is doing.
It's hard to believe there was no foul called on that.
Yeah, there really is. And Jones flashed open, and they didn't get him the ball. Threw it a little late. And Hornock, with the contact, knocked the ball away.
Jones got mugged underneath by Hornock. Gave him the elbow, the arm, everything as he ran over him.
But Jones stays in the ball game. Hodges up top. Larkin up by a deuce.
Nice feed.
And Garcia finishes.
Nice play by Hodges. Saw Garcia down low.
Garcia gets a lot of those type of hoops. 49% shooter from the field. Palmer off the mark. Binion. And Garcia and a teammate actually collided going for the board. Binion picks up the garbage and puts in the easy one. Hodges through traffic to Garcia. Boy, everything looked a little out of sync on that play. Garcia did get the shot up.
Give the foul to Chris Brown. For Brown, that's his first personal, team's first. And he'll send it to Garcia. Again, Garcia open inside. Put up the jumper, but got fouled from behind by Brown.
Simpson checks in for the Royals. Kendrick Thomas, Mr. Excitement, also on the court, sporting the Michael Jordan hairdo, I might add.
Well, I'll tell you, Thomas really pumped in that first half.
And Garcia, 51% free throw shooter, misses the first one. .4:13 left in the third. I'm John Mercure with Paul Lepick from Chesborough Fieldhouse. The Elgin Maroons are trailing Larkin by a couple.
Great place to watch a high school basketball game.
Make it by 1. Hornock crosses the timeline. Gum faces out front. Binion gets it way past the three-point stripe. Sharik Simpson, open jumper on the way, off the mark. And Saru Jones really boxed out well on that play.
Nice play by Jermaine as he pulled it back out.
And Thomas kind of got caught in no man's land, slapped him in the chest, gets whistled for the personal.
That'll be Thomas's second personal, second team foul. As I said, good play by Williams. He saw he was down low, but he had a 1-on-3, pulled it back out, and that's where the foul occurred.
Gum against Thomas.
Larkin not as aggressive in the man-to-man as they were at the end of that first half.
Nice look.
Take it.
Yeah, you're not going to get much more open than that.
I tell you.
You might notice that Kendrick Thomas, another unusual characteristic about him is that he wears low-top tennis shoes. Says he doesn't like the high top. They're too confining. Most basketball players prefer the high top for the extra support in the ankle area. Not Kendrick. He goes with the low top. Hey, whatever works.
That's right. Ooh.
And I don't know. There's definitely contact there, Paul, but it looked like Thomas slipped and fell, and maybe he did catch a piece of Hodges then, and Hodges also went down.
I'll tell you, though, Hodges saw that baseline open. It's like, oh, my goodness, the road to gold.
Happy.
No, he's not.
Thomas argues his case, but he's not going to win this one.
Yep. Third personal foul for Thomas.
Elgin still down by 1.
Elgin hasn't committed a second half foul yet.
Coach Harrington trying to get a little more motion in his offense. Tough pass. Garcia reels it in, kicks it back out.
Now that defense get a little bit more aggressive.
And they are extending it. Oh, that was a tough shot off the back of the iron. And Binion hit in the face. That might be Garcia, Paul.
That is. Iran got Binion across the face. That's his 4th personal foul, 1st team foul in the half. Iran's going to have to come out of the ball game here.
Boy, and that really hurts.
Bring Pat Otto back into the lineup. As Iran goes over to the far side there.
And Iran Garcia coming into this game has committed more personal fouls than anybody else on the Maroons. A lot of that attributed to that aggressive rebounding, aggressive defense he plays. But they're going to need him around for this ball game. Palmer warming up.
And that time Larkin was looking for the backdoor cut. Palmer had a wide open shot from the left wing.
Palmer on the year shoots 54% from the field, which is pretty good when you consider all the long range 2s and 3s that he puts up. Otto in trouble.
Looked like he walked, no call.
Yeah, it sure did. And Larkin does get the turnover as he throws it out of bounds.
Elgin not able to work that ball inside now that Larkin has jacked up the defense a little bit more. Double teaming off the ball.
Eric Parker back in the ball game for the Maroons. 2 minutes left in this third period. Larkin up by the tray, 33-30. Into Binion, looking for some space. Looked like he lost the ball, got it knocked away. Boy, there's some elbows flying in there. Oh, and he's, oh. And I don't know how you could be more open than Jermaine Williams was. And now he finally gets the ball.
Jermaine could have had a picnic underneath here.
Making a few friends up there.
Yeah.
And he was so open. I don't think there was anybody within 15 yards of him. Schuler, they try to clear out for Binion. Shriek Simpson. The 3. And that is short.
Gotta help.
Oh, that is the second time in a row. Jim Harrington says, calm down, it's okay, it's okay. But you know inside, this has got to be a Malox moment.
They got to break that press, and they've been doing it with the baseball passes, but they've been sailing way out of bounds.
Yeah, I guess these guys are basketball players and not baseball players. Schuler across the timeline.
Nice.
Looks for Simpson.
Nice anticipation.
Zeismer fights for the rebound, reels it in. Palmer working on two in his face. Into Binion. Spins to the inside. And on that play, Binion felt the contact. He had determined he was spinning to the inside and going up with it.
He got chopped across the head, everything. That foul's gonna be on Jermaine Williams. That's his first, the team's second. Otto comes back in the lineup as Jermaine's gonna grab a seat.
And David Binion, as you may imagine, has attempted the most free throws on this Larkin team, playing that strong inside post-up game that he does.
David 4 for 6 tonight from the charity stripe.
And he's going to get a couple here, looking to extend that three-point lead. Missed the first one. The Elgin faithful trying to rile their troops. And a second one on the way. And that one's good. 40 seconds left in this third period. And there's some contact. And Matt Schuler's going to get whistled for the foul, trying to fight through that pick, and Schuler is still down. And I don't know what the deal is, but there's nobody from the Larkin bench coming over to even see if he's all right.
Hornock's going to come back into the lineup. Schuler got set up on the double team there. He fouled Hodges. Schuler goes down.
And Schuler doesn't want to leave, but he'll take a seat. Trainer will see how he's doing. Hornock checks back into the ball game.
Schuler's second personal, fourth team foul against the Royals.
Eric Parker to inbound. Gets it into Hodges. Under 30 seconds left here in the third quarter. And there's some elbows flying. Tariq Simpson out top. Oh boy, what mass confusion out there.
They're going to call it out. Ooh!
And Hodges gets whistled for the foul on a loose ball.
Called it on Hodges. That's his second personal, the team's third.
And things are really getting sloppy. Coach Harrington not happy. Dom Canada and his staff trying to shout some instruction.
Oh,
Palmer.
Traveled around the screen. Took an extra step.
He took a couple extra steps.
That time Larkin abandoned the backdoor play. That was an intercept.
2 seconds left. Binion doesn't even draw iron. And at the end of 3, the Larkin Royals lead the Elgin Maroons here at Chesborough Fieldhouse by the score of 34-30. And we'll be back with more on the Intercable after this break.
Catch all the excitement Saturday, February 29th, when the Jane Shover Easter Seal Center kicks off its 10th annual telethon to help persons with disabilities. Be part of one of the biggest events on local cable television. 10 hours of non-stop entertainment with some special stars to raise money for your local Easter Seal Center. Your dollars pledged between 2 p.m. and midnight will help over 2,000 people right here in northern Kane County and Hanover Township. Don't miss any of the fun. That's Saturday, February 29th from 2 p.m. to midnight.
Otto with the easy layup. Took us for a little ride, but he does put us in. And Hornock brings it up. And Hodges brings it up. Elgin being aggressive.
I tell you. Larkin still up by 2, though.
Hornock brings it up. Faces Gum. Gum looking for some help, off to Simpson. 7:18 left in the final period. No shot.
Simpson fouled on the way up.
Larkin holding on to a 2-point lead.
It's going to be on Saru Jones. That's his third personal.
And we're going to have to see how long Jim Harrington can go without Iran Garcia in there. Oh, that could have been a travel, a foul. You take your pick.
Ah,
great hustle. Palmer, tough shot.
Oh,
oh, and count it. Wham. Sharik Simpson, tough board.
Surprised they didn't call Simpson for over the back a little bit, but
that's exactly what I thought. I
Yeah.
was almost positive that was over the back. Jim Harrington thinks so.
Ball's going to be on Parker. That's his first personal for the Maroons. Team's fifth. Sending Simpson to the line for one.
Simpson to the line, a 67% free throw shooter on the year. And he makes it a 5-point ball game. And Larkin with the full court pressure picked off. Oh, Zeismer with the gimme. Look at this pressure. It's a frenzy.
Timeout.
You got it. Elgin burns a timeout, and we're going to keep it here during this break, and we're going to take this opportunity to go over a little bit of the Upstate 8 race for you. St. Charles leads with a 7-1 record, and Larkin will host St. Charles tomorrow night. Waubonsie Valley is 6-2, as are Larkin and East Aurora, also 6-2. West Aurora 4-4, Elgin and DeKalb at 3-5, Lake Park at 1-7, and Streamwood yet to win in the Upstate 8. You've seen a lot of these ball games, Paul, and they're always physical. What can Larkin expect to see tomorrow night in that St. Charles game?
Well, St. Charles is always a tough ball club wherever they go. Coach Johnson and that whole tradition of the St. Charles Saints. I think they're going to have a tough matchup on the boards. They might come away a loser. I don't know. It all depends. It is a big game, and Dominic, Coach Kamada was saying beforehand that it's going to be real difficult trying to get his team focused on Elgin tonight rather than focus on St. Charles. And because St. Charles is tomorrow night as they play this game. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And Elgin has elected to come back with Garcia. You know, if that's what's keeping you in the ball game, that's what you got to go with. You can't keep him on the bench and let the game slip away. Down by 7, he's back on the floor.
Yeah, through 3 periods, Garcia had 15 of the Elgin 30 points.
And that's almost an over and back, but they're going to whistle a foul.
Going to be on Simpson, it looks like. For Simpson, that's his first.
And that pressure is relentless. And the scary thought is that Thomas isn't even out there. You throw him into the mix, it's like hell for an opposing team.
It's the team's 5th personal foul, so both teams with 5 team fouls.
Under 7 minutes left.
Ooh.
They tried to work it inside to Otto. Schuler all over him. Elgin retains possession. Into Garcia. Open jumper on the way, and it's good. Saru Jones drains the 15-footer. Elgin within 5.
Gotta play heady defense here. What got him in the first quarter was that sagging defense in the middle. Let's see if Elgin continues to do that.
Oh, my God! David Binion throws it down and brings the house down.
There's a foul on the play, too.
Oh, man. He got up and brought it down.
Fouls on Pat Otto. That's his 2nd personal, the team's 6th. Sending Binion to the line for 1.
There you see it, 41-34. Larkin on top, Binion. A chance to pad that a little bit, and you don't see much of that in high school basketball. A guy that can get up in the air with someone in his face like David Binion did.
And he tomahawked it.
Yeah, it was nothing basic.
No, it was Michael Jordan tomahawk.
Dunking 101.
Yeah.
Elgin in desperate need of a hoop, down by 8 points. Here comes that pressure.
Travel.
Oh,
They call a foul. Okay.
and I think that's a generous call.
Yeah.
You saw it as I did. Clearly a travel. Maybe he got fouled before the travel, they ruled. And that must be it because it's not a shooting foul.
Falls on Zeismer. It's his second personal.
And Hodges trying to break down the defense, penetrates. Binion called for the kickball.
Both teams in the bonus now.
Garcia to inbound, and that's going to be a tough pass to handle, but Gum brings it in, gives it back to Hodges. That's the only place you can throw that thing and not expect Kendrick Thomas to pick it off.
It's about right. Kendrick's all over the place tonight, too.
And now the officiating really tightening up.
Falls on Schuler, and that'll be his third personal. Elgin in the bonus, the 1-and-1 in effect.
And that's going to put Hodges to the line.
What a place to put a sophomore.
And he's a 48% free thrower on the year. And he missed it. Otto with the board.
It'll be on Binion.
Binion goes for the block. He gets the block, the wrist, the elbow.
That'll be David's first personal.
And that's going to put Otto at the line. And Otto has struggled at the line. He's about a 37% free throw shooter on the year. And he misses that one.
Well, game in the act of shooting. Okay. I'm down to 1-and-1.
There you get a good look at the 6'5" junior. Boy, that's a big arch he puts on that ball. Binion with the board. 5:40 left. Larkin up by 8. Schuler. Boy, Zeismer, a madman on the boards.
It's going to be Larkin ball. So far, that's 3 missed free throws since Elgin's been in the 1-and-1 here.
And that
For
could
the
be
Maroons.
critical down the stretch.
Yeah.
Palmer open 3. Binion with the board. Oh, you can count it. Mr. Binion coming to play in the 4th quarter.
Falls on Otto. That'll be his third personal. Well, I tell you, David knifed in between 2 defenders, able to put that ball gently off the glass inside the hoop. Goes for the 3-point play.
Looking to build on a 10-point Larkin lead.
David with 18 points thus far.
And it's good. Larkin up by 11. And still some pressure defense. Garcia hits the open jumper. Schuler takes a look up at the scoreboard. Oh, and Thomas, a piece of his own medicine. Schuler, open jumper. And that's money in the bank. You cannot leave him that wide open.
That's that quickness, too, of the Larkin Royals.
Hodges to Garcia. Garcia again. And he gets that one to fall, and Elgin wants a timeout. And they'll get it. 4:39 left in the 4th. Elgin trying to crawl back in. Larkin holding on to a 9-point lead. And we'll be back with more after this break.
Catch all the excitement Saturday, February 29th, when the Jane Shover Easterfield.
And there you see it. Larkin ahead 47-38. Paul, another thing I wanted to hit on real quick. A big suburban Catholic battle going on tonight, and that is the St. Edward Green Wave hosting Driscoll. What are the implications?
Boy, I tell you, as this game's being played, Driscoll at 16-0. They have not lost a basketball game this year, obviously, but their state tournament winning football team went also undefeated. Driscoll's like on a cloud 9 right now, and it'd be interesting to see how they do at St. Ed's. St. Ed's, you nicknamed that place the Pit already. that is a pit as far as trying to play in there with the crowd right on top of you. It's a much, much more closed-in environment than what you're seeing out here at Chesborough. So it'll be interesting to see who wins that ball game.
And Larkin gets the ball in. Palmer looking for help.
I think there's a fight over on that far side.
Yeah, there's some kind of extracurricular activity going on. Fans in front of us on their feet. Garcia brings in the board. Gum down court for the layup. And now the players trying to figure out what's going on. Oh, there's somebody getting carried out of here. And the officials do call an officials timeout while they try to get things under control.
Both teams are going to go to their respective benches.
And everybody trying to figure out what's going on here. Looked like they were carrying someone out. I don't know if there had been a fight or... 4:17 left. The referees try to figure out what's going on.
Also, you got to play that sagging defense. You can't allow Larkin to get inside. David Binion's been having a field day the past couple of times Larkin's had the ball. You got to have that sagging defense that Elgin had at the start of the first quarter if they're going to get back into this one. This game's not over yet. 4:17 left, only down by 7. A couple of good turnovers and a couple of good defensive stands, and Elgin's right back in it.
And the Elgin cheerleaders took that opportunity to try to get this crowd into the ball game, make a little bit of noise. Binion open underneath. Led him too far. Elgin can cut it to 5. Coming back at you. Kicks it to Gum, looking for the jumper. Hodges sets the offense. A mismatch. He's got Binion. And Jones missed the jumper. Under 4 minutes left.
Good call.
Oh,
good.
And an offensive foul.
Good call. Led with the elbow.
And Jones says, yeah.
Fouls.
You got it.
Fouls on Palmer. That's his 3rd personal. Since it was a player control foul, Elgin's going to get the ball out of bounds.
And the Larkin coaching staff over there screaming and yelling and letting the officials know what they thought of that call. Elgin trying once again to cut it to 5. That was a travel.
Yeah, he traveled, yeah. I think they may have caught a little bit of a foul before the shot. I don't know. It's called on Hornick. That's his 3rd.
Well, that's what they're calling it anyhow. I don't know. I guess they had a different angle than I had.
Interesting that Jim Harrington has Iran Garcia on the other side of the court. Not even in for the rebound here.
Oh, and Hodges really struggling from the line. Hornock pushes. 3.5 minutes left in this ball game. Elgin's had their opportunities to cut into this margin and haven't been able to do it. And that's going to be another turnover.
Nice play by Hodges.
Hodges.
Oh!
And Hornock alertly grabs the jump ball. And it's going to belong to Larkin.
Corey didn't protect the ball when he got it. Hornock able to sneak in and cause the jump.
I mean, that was really a great play by Hornock. All Hodges had to do was let the ball go out of bounds, and it would have been over and back.
It's true. Good point. Oh!
Up to Thomas. He splits the defense. Oh, boy. Brown misses the gimme. They don't get any easier than that.
Oh, you can't do that. Cannot do that.
Jermaine Williams whistled for the double dribble. That'll give the ball back to Larkin. Under 3 minutes left to play.
Maroon's playing some great defense right now. You got to keep playing the D and score on offense.
Hornock thought about it. Gives it to Binion. Tough shot, and he misses it. Boy, there's some elbow action. Jones brings it up. Ooh. Coast to coast, missed the jumper, and that's going to belong to Elgin.
That went off of Hornock out of bounds.
And Harrington not too happy. You got one of your forwards bringing the ball all the way up the court and then shooting about a 12-foot jumper.
considering that there might have been somebody open on the weak side near court here.
Thomas checks in for Hornock. Ball into Hodges. And that was forced, and he missed it bad. Binion to Schuler. Under 2.5 minutes left. We've been sitting on 47-40 for quite a while. And Brown puts it on the floor. Oh, look at Palmer fakes a three. Larkin runs a little clock, looking for the opening. And Jones with the hard foul.
Jones, that's his 4th personal foul.
And he got his money's worth.
Yeah.
Schuler getting kind of beat up tonight.
Schuler with only 7 points on the night. Going to go to the line for the 1-and-1.
You can see Don Canada in the background there, giving some defensive advice to his ball club.
So far, Larkin 3 for 3 in the 4th quarter from the charity stripe. 4.
And that's been the difference, because Elgin has got there quite a few times also, and they have not been able to cash in.
They're 0 for 4 in this quarter, 1 for 2 in the 3rd.
And some of those were one in the bonus where they would have earned another chance.
All right.
That one's strong. Gum to Hodges, not much time to waste. Elgin down by 8. 2 minutes left in the ball game. Gum for 3. And he hits it.
2 to 2 to 2. He stepped on the line.
You got it, and Larkin up by 6. Schuler in trouble.
Oh!
And Kendrick Thomas with a rare mistake. Canada wants a timeout.
I tell you, Brown nonchalanted that one too. He was going for the hoop, but he wasn't going at full tilt.
And Larkin wants and receives a timeout, and we're going to keep it here. 1:40 left in the ball game. Does Elgin have one more spurt left in him?
I don't know. Said free throws were a factor, and that's what's going on right now. They're not being able to make the free throws. The Maroons. Iran Garcia with 4 points this quarter, 19 on the night. They can't seem to find to get the ball inside to him. Something interesting, though, that Jim Harrington does not have Garcia on the defensive rebounds because he doesn't want to have Garcia pick up a 5th personal foul. So Iran really taking it easy defensively, hopefully to get him in tune offensively. But as you said earlier, you don't have much time with 1:40 left to go.
And Coach Harrington had said that he would hope that he could stay with this Larkin squad and just hang tough through the 3rd and the 4th quarter because they're so explosive and stay within striking range, and he has. He's got a legitimate shot at the ball game. Down by 6, 1:40 left, and Elgin has the basketball.
Elgin sagged on their defense like they did the 1st quarter, and it's kept Larkin off the point totals. The problem is Elgin hasn't been able to put the ball in the hoop.
On the floor for Elgin, Jermaine Williams, who will inbound, Saru Jones, Iran Garcia, Gum, and Hodges, who has the ball. Larkin with their starting 5 minus Hornock and Kendrick Thomas in his spot. Elgin looking for the opening. Open jumper. And he gets whistled for taking a couple baby steps.
Right away, Schultz is going to come in the ball game here, as well as Otto for the Elgin Maroons.
And for Larkin, Hornock checks back in. Thomas takes a seat. Larkin by 6, both teams in the bonus.
Garcia no longer in the lineup.
Oh, and Binion wide open underneath. Binion saves.
Good jump.
Wide open 3.
Oh.
And that's over the backboard, out of bounds. That'll be Elgin's ball. They still have life.
57 seconds left, and here comes Garcia and Williams back in the lineup.
And Dom Canada not happy. That was a wide open three, but he would have liked his team to run a little more clock and played for a higher percentage shot.
So Jim Harrington now doing the double substitutions here, putting Garcia when they're on offense and taking them out when they're on defense.
Elgin needs a basket. Hodges hits the jumper, and Elgin burns another timeout. 42 seconds left. Larkin holding on to a 4-point lead. We'll be back with more in a moment.
A brand new house. A job he's held for 5 years.
Burrell Fieldhouse. Larkin up by 4, 48-44, and this Maroon squad just won't go away. No quitting these kids.
That's absolutely right, but that timeout was to get Otto and Schultz back in the lineup. Garcia is going to grab some bench here. Be ready to come back on offense. Right now the Maroons on defense, and they got to keep playing that sagging defense inside, because Binion is looking to get wide open, and he's finally getting the ball, but it's way out high on the right wing or left wing. Not able to do the dunk shots that he's been able to do in the middle of the ball game, second, third quarters.
And these Jim Harrington squads are always tough on the fundamentals. They play good defense, good rebounders, and now Larkin looking to ice it.
Credit Jim Harrington, he'll give you a fight to the finish. He will give you a fight to the finish.
And Hornock, confronted with a little bit of trapping defensive pressure, burns the timeout. And to Jim Harrington's credit, he's got a young squad. He didn't have many people returning from last year's team. And this team really is competitive, and they've gotten beat their share of games this year. But it has not been too often that they've been blown out of a ball game.
No, it hasn't. You have to really go, gosh, way back to Glenbrook South. That was back in December, on the 23rd of December, where they lost 89 to, correction. My mistake. They won 89-54. I don't know. You're right. They haven't really been blown out of any ball games. I'm looking back on their record. I don't see any blowouts anywhere down the line. They've been losing some tough ball games. They lost, as we said earlier at the start, 60-50 to East Aurora. They lost 52-46 to West Aurora. Other than that, this team has not lost that many blowout ball games. I don't see any on their schedule.
Speaking of tough competitors, we really haven't mentioned it all night. David Binion sprained his ankle in practice in the middle of this week. They say he's only 80 to 85%, and he's playing a lot of minutes. And if he's 80 to 85% playing like he is, he must be a terror when he's at 100.
Tomahawk dunk didn't look like 80.
Oh, and there he gets taken down. There's no problem. The ref steps in quickly, but Binion says no problem. I'll go to the line. I'll pad my stats a little bit.
That might be that. That's the, I believe that's the 5th personal foul. No, correction. What do they got here? Call the foul on somebody. Who they call the foul on? Called the foul on Jermaine Williams. That's his 2nd personal. Being into the line for the 1-and-1.
Binion on the line drive, toss from the charity stripe, extends the lead to 5.
8 for 11 from the charity stripe so far for Binion.
He's made a living there tonight.
Yep, 9 for 12.
And a 6-point lead. 30 seconds left. Elgin will look to get the quick shot up, preferably a 3. Garcia with the easy one. And they're going to have to foul somebody. They broke the press, but Elgin able to pick up the foul.
Going to be on Williams. That's his 3rd personal, and it's going to send Brown to the line. Chris Brown with no points. 0 for 1 from the charity stripe.
And Brown, a 66% shooter from the free throw line on the year.
He should make these 2. He's 0 for 1. Should be 2 for 3.
That's not how it works.
Nope.
Elgin, not a lot of time to burn. 14 seconds left, down by 4. Hodges presses. They need to get a shot off here. Gum with the desperation toss. Palmer with the rebound.
There's the foul on there. That might be Iran's 5th.
And a foul with 3 seconds left, and Larkin fans on their feet.
It's Iran Garcia's 5th personal foul, as you see up on the scoreboard there.
And that's the tail of the tape.
Iran leaves with 21 points on the night.
And Iran's not the only one that leaves. Fans are starting to clear out of here at Chesborough. This one looks to be in the hip pocket of Dom Canada and company. Jim Harrington has got to be happy with this gutsy effort that his team came out here and put forth tonight.
Absolutely right. And, you know, Jimmy will give you a tough ball game all the time. Dominic Canada, God bless him. You know, Larkin could win the Upstate 8 title with the victory tomorrow night as we play this game against St. Charles. We'll see what happens as the clock goes on here. Time goes on, but well, I think we're going to see the Larkin Royals in the future, especially during playoff competition. I think this team's going to go far.
Palmer extends the lead to 6. And it won't count if it goes. And that's going to just about do it. The Larkin Royals hang on. And in a tough ball game, they beat up the Elgin Maroons 52-46. We'll be back after this break to recap the game for you. And there you see it. The fans clearing out. This the second of the 2 contests between these 2 schools this year. Larkin wins this one 52-46. And it was really that type of ball game, about a 6-point spread. And both teams spread the scoring around a little bit. Elgin had one big gun in particular that really did carry the bulk of the scoring for that squad.
Well, let's recap the scoring for you. Larkin with the victory here goes to 17-2 overall, 7-2 in the Upstate 8 Conference. They're led in scoring by Sean Palmer, or correction, with David Binya with 21 points, Sean Palmer with 14, Schuler with 8, Simpson with 5, and you got Thomas with 2, although, you know, for Thomas, he really played a heck of a defensive ball game tonight. Zeismer with 2, and Brown didn't score for Larkin's 52 points. The Elgin Maroons with the loss, they fall to 8-9 overall, 3-6 in the Upstate 8 Conference, led in scoring by Iran Garcia with 21, Steve Goom with 13, then you've got Hodges with 4, Jones with 4, Otto with 2, and Williams with 2 to complete the scoring of 46 points.
Boy, and to Larkin's credit, they got a tough game against St. Charles coming up tomorrow night, and they knew this would also be a tough one, and they did again this weekend what they did last weekend, and that's beat a tough team that's not quite as good as you, but you can dig deep within yourself and come out with the close victory, and you got to win those close ones if you're going to build momentum and build any kind of continuity as you gain steam heading towards the state tournament in March.
Well, you figure just by how the standings are in the Upstate 8 right now that if Larkin gets by St. Charles, they should have a pretty clear sailing to win their first Upstate 8 title. And then it's on to March Madness, and we'll see what happens as far as they go to finally the super sectional. They come through the Elgin sectional, but then the super sectional, where a lot of people are anticipating that Larkin's going to be playing Rockford Boylan, and Rockford Boylan just came up with a big victory over #1, almost nationally ranked King Jaguars, and Boylan got some headlines, so Larkin has their work cut out for him.
You know, and Rockford Boylan has a tough team every year, and this year they look to be, for sure, one of the best in the area. Yeah. And we're also going to have a lot more action coming your way on Channel 6 Sports. We're going to cover another St. Edward's game, as well as a few other contests, including following this Larkin Ball Club and that St. Edward Ball Club in the state tournament. And people are saying that they both have the chance to go on and make a lot of noise.
Absolutely right. Because you figure even for the St. Edward Ball Club, a lot of their non-conference games are against AA teams, which adds strength to their overall stamina.
And we said going in, Paul, that some of the keys would be shooting, both from the free throw line and the field. And that really ended up being the tale. From the free throw line, Larkin, much more proficient than Elgin was, and from the field. It seemed that Larkin took higher percentage shots and seemed to cash in on more of them.
Well, I'll tell you, though, Elgin did not get to the charity stripe that often. I have him 2 for 7 on the night from the charity stripe, where David Binion alone 9 for 12 from the charity stripe just on his own. Larkin much more from the charity stripe tonight than the Elgin Maroons. You know, and I think what really got him into this ballgame and eventually won it for Larkin was that tenacious defense that came out in the latter part of that first half, definitely into the second half. And that defense, plus the quickness that Larkin has, eventually got him the victory. They have a lot of horses, as we said at the start of the program.
And Larkin does come away with the victory here at Chesborough Fieldhouse. And that's going to just about do it for us for tonight. We're here at Chesborough on the campus of Elgin Memorial High School. The Larkin Royals knock off the Elgin Maroons. Final score 52-46. Thanks for watching, everybody. For Paul Lepick, I'm John Mercure. Good night.